We are live from the Job Serve Community Stadium. It's Talk of the Town, episode 16. Come on! Yes, welcome to the Job Serve Community Stadium, where the Reds are here on a very cold Tuesday night to take on Colchester United. I'm joined once again for the show by Harry Maynard, Talk Sport, Talk of the Town's Harry Maynard, and obviously Erdem Konya, who we're going to come to in a minute. But before we kick off, of course, it's league action today, so we are back on the iFollow. £10 for all supporters as we're away. Get over to the iFollow. Put your details in, pay your £10 and you can get the action, which is going to kick off here in just under an hour's time. You do not want to miss that. Of course, Ballers is open once again for your match day offer. £5 for a can of drink, burger and a chips, not to be missed. If you haven't tried it, what have you been playing at? What am I standing here every week telling you for if you're not going to use it? Come on! £5, burger, chips and a drink. Get yourself down to Ballers for a collection. Stop looking at me like I'm a lunatic. If you can't do that, Uber Eats or Just Eat, you can order online and get it delivered to your door to watch the football. Last week we promised you prizes. This week we are delivering prizes. So we said the Ryan Cantor Club match day giveaway from the AFC Wimbledon game signed Tom Dallason's shirt as he was man of the match. That went to Ash Walford. Congratulations to Ash for winning that, and thank you to our friends at the Ryan Cantor Club for offering that. So Ash, we will be in touch with you. Drop me an email at the club and we will get that sorted, get a shirt to you. We also promised 2 football manager giveaways for people who took part but gave wrong answers. Those winners were Luke Moore and Malk Lockhead. Congratulations to Luke and Malk. You have won a Football Manager 2001 copy. Fellas, welcome to...
That was a good intro.
Welcome to... Thank you very much. Yeah. Sure, you can tell a bit late. Like, I was just trying to rush it out, get to the real content. We'll talk about the team in a second. Let's touch upon Saturday first of all. Big win, wasn't it?
Sunday.
Yeah, like literally the day's just rolling at the moment. With so many games going on. Obviously, yeah, only 2 days ago we were in South London. Obviously, big FA Cup win. Great sense around the club and big win that.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's much needed, and in this COVID period that we're in as well, it's a massive boost. But it's just good to, after losing 2 games, to win a game and against a League One side. And I felt we showed a good display. So hopefully we can back that up again and have a little bit of consistency going forward into the next 2 games, because tonight is tough. Saturday's going to be tough again. Every game's tough. We know that, as we say. But it's good to pick up. Yes, it's true. It's true.
And Harry, obviously, you were there Sunday. Good performance. I mean, I don't think it was the best performance of the season, but it was a good battle. It was a good scrap. Slightly changed system from the manager, and it paid off, didn't it?
Yeah, I like the change of system. I think we stopped them playing pretty well. I think I came away more thinking they didn't look too great for a League One side, but that's probably more testament to the way we set up and the way we played, which, bearing in mind how many games we've had and how many games we've got coming up, I think it's great that we can turn up and stop a side from the tier above playing their own football on their own patch. So I'm glad that it's a similar lineup today.
But yeah, so we talking of today's lineup. I don't know if you've seen today's lineup.
But the goal was a quality though. The first goal. I mean, that through ball and the chip is quality.
Yeah. I think that's what Jack Powell offers you, doesn't he? Like he offers you that bit of quality.
Because we were all sitting together going, spray out to the left, spray out to the left, and he would just slip Nelson in one-on-one.
Yeah. And I suppose that sums them 2 players up in a nutshell, doesn't it? Jack Powell with the little bit of quality to unlock a defence. He's done it a couple of times this season. True. Nathan Ferguson, same. He's done it a couple of times this season. I found that pass that's been the quality in the game, and then obviously now Ashley Naderson showed us what he's all about.
I think at any level it's a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing. And if we can replicate this type of play, and it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at today's side. There's only one change for the Reds from Sunday's win at AFC Wimbledon. Danny Bullman goes out and Tom Nichols comes straight back into the starting lineup. So it's Glenn Morris, Tom Dallison, Jordan Tunnicliffe and Tony Craig. In the midfield we have got Jack Powell and Jake Hessenthaler. Then we have Nick Cerula starts once again after a good showing from him on Sunday. David Cisse also starts again with Max Waters, Tom Nichols and Ashley Naderson. Obviously Tom Nichols and Danny Bullman, not the same sort of player. It's a straight swap there. So is it a change of system, do you think? Or?
No, so I think it's exactly the same system. It's just maybe Powley and Hesse deeper, and Nichols is the offensive player. So it's more. It's not a flexible three.
Hesenthaler's the swap for Ballman effectively,
Yeah.
and Nichols comes into his role. On the bench, Joe McNerney, Ricky German, Tyler Frost, Sam Matthews, Sam Ashford, Brian Gallack and Stuart Nelson. Erdem, we spoke a little bit on Sunday show about how Wimbledon had a really tight turnaround from Thursday to Sunday. We've got that tight turnaround tonight, obviously, only playing 2 days ago. I know the lads sort of had a bit of a loosener this morning because obviously it's all about recovery and just straight back in. Are you expecting that to be an issue tonight, or are you hoping that actually momentum will carry us through?
I hope it's not an issue. However, I'm excited to see Nichols, Waters and Nadesan together. If you remember in the Harrogate game, when they've started the three of them together, how many chances were created in the first 45, 60? I think we had maybe good 5 to 10 chances in the first. So I'm excited to see that combination, because that could be a combination going forward, because those three, if they combine well and become a unit, I think we can destroy many defences. So I'm excited about that.
And I think even at the back, I think Dallason's worth a mention. I think he was excellent on Saturday. For someone who's been out for so long, and I mean, I know it's maybe a little hard on Joe Mack, who's sitting out when you've got 3 centre-backs playing, but again, it's so nice that we've got 4 centre-halves that I feel comfortable with any of them starting.
True. And Tunney, when the game was
Tunney,
back.
I mean, at both ends of the pitch, we have real quality, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm not to say we don't have quality in midfield as well, but in terms of strength of depth, you're looking at you've got Joe Mack, as you say, he sits out, and you've got Tunnicliffe, Craig and Dallison, all proven at this level, all good quality players. At the other end, you've got 3 strikers who are all scoring goals every time they play, it seems.
So hopefully that momentum does carry us through.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed.
Hands together.
One word I sort of said I was going to try and not talk too much about, I'm inevitably going to fail, was the word Leeds in today's show. I know what if the manager was here, he would say, well, I'm worrying about this game, but he's not here, so we'll talk about it. Big draw for the club?
I'm buzzing. I'm not going to lie, it's fantastic. It's one game, it's 90 minutes, anything can happen, and if we win that game, we're creating history. Even if we don't, it was still a part of the fabric of the history, because the 2 games that leading up to that, like the Torquay, 6-1, Wimbledon,
couple of battles.
There's massive battles to get there, so it's going to be good just to pit ourselves against, because the lads are well up for it. You can tell from the reaction from last night, the lads are well up for it. So I think everyone's buzzing.
Yeah. It's been nice in my job role that all of a sudden my phone is ringing a lot, and my inbox is being filled rather than me begging people to do it.
I couldn't be happier to hear that.
Plenty of sponsorship opportunities. Joe Comper at crueltownfc.com if you are one of those people who are interested. Harry, from a fan's point of view, buzzing.
I think it's great. The first thing someone said to me last night was, they don't really know too much about the club. They said, is that one of the biggest games you've ever had? And you straight away, no. And then you go, well, hang on, let's think of some of the sides we've played at home. And do you know what? In terms of a home tie, they're probably the biggest club that have
it's
coming down.
only really Stoke, which you can compare it in the 5th round, but they're not as big as Leeds.
I think Leeds surpassed Stoke, and there's a buzz around Leeds as well over the last couple of years. So I think it's a huge tie. It's brilliant, and I know all the fans will be dead excited. A few of them will get in. A few of them hopefully will be able to watch it on the TV at home.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously the fan.
And we beat a Prem side last year, so we can do it. We've done it. You've done it before.
They're not gonna be looking at their fans. I imagine are looking at it as a bit of a banana skin. They're sort of thinking,
they lost to Sutton recently as well, didn't they? 2 seasons ago, maybe they went down to Sutton in the FA Cup and
it
lost.
Depends where they are in the league.
Yeah, that's it. They might.
They're a quality side.
This is the sort of year where people are going to go, do you know what? We'll rest in the FA Cup because we've got bigger fish to fry. So
at their peril.
At their peril. Have they not seen our strike? One other thing that I wanted to talk about, there's been a lot of talk of Max Waters, and every week you think, well, he's on a bit of a high, but that might stop at some point. Doesn't seem to be stopping, does it? He seems to just keep scoring goals.
He's averaging more than a goal every 90 minutes, I think.
Yeah, incredible.
He's a fantastic player, and to be honest with you, I wasn't going to. Well, I might as well say it. The Maidstone manager came out and said a few
just
bits.
read that on the way here.
But I was just thinking to myself, he's had him for 5 games, 90 minutes, and he was still trialling him. So he's saying he's a talent spot. I think that underlines his inability to spot the talent.
Snooze, you lose. Yeah.
And the gaffer spotted him in that 45 minutes. So I think he's highlighted how good actually the gaffer is at spotting players.
Yeah.
And going out into the media saying Crawley's distasteful and these kind of things is not very nice. But good luck to the fella. He should be doing his job better than coming out and saying these type of things. And I'll say it how it is. I will.
But I suppose it's credit to the manager. Not only has he spotted a player, but also he's found a way of getting the ball to him in dangerous areas, and he's putting him away.
And the players buy into it as well. I think it's hard coming into a squad. You miss pre-season, you come in a little bit late, so the players got to see that see that just how good he is and buy into the fact that yes, we can create him some chances and he'll score.
They're all smiling. I mean, we're all witnessing this every day. All the players are happy. We're all happy. Everyone's smiling because there's a good camaraderie.
Someone said it to me the other day, and I can't. It might have been earlier on. It might have been Marcus the Kitman. He said Tom Nichols was out on Sunday. And he was like, "You've seen Tom. He's desperate to be back. Like you can tell, he's desperate to keep playing. He's not happy sitting on the physio's bench." And we were speculating maybe that it was they don't like carry the physio. But anyway, they all seem desperate to get back in. Whereas maybe in previous years it was like there wasn't that same desperation to get in the first team because it wasn't as enjoyable. But whereas they all seem to think they're desperate to get off the treatment table and back on the pitch.
The lads are chomping. There's a good unity. It's a good group, and hopefully it's going to be a good season.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I just want to say one other thing on that. We seem to have. It feels like a good start, doesn't it? It feels like we've made a positive start. We've done well. We're doing well in the FA Cup. We sort of seem to have dropped down the league with a couple of losses, and the league is tight. Is that something you're sort of thinking? Do you know what, we've got to stop that rot before we've got a tough game tonight, tough game at Mansfield. We need to sort of pick up points in those games to stop the rot.
No, of course we have to stop the rot. It is what it is. However, I think you have to be honest as well. We have to hit the 50-point mark. It's unfair to put a lot of pressure on this squad because in the 5 years, this is one of the smallest budgets we've had. It is the smallest budget, and it's the youngest squad we've had. So we're actually building something here, and the gaffer's building. So we have to be extra patient. With Harry, we had a 1.9 budget. Here we've got about a 1.1, 1.2 with a load of 17-year-olds in here and 19, 20-year-olds. So we have to be a little bit patient, give them time. It's a squad that's bonding together. So, and hopefully, obviously, we do have to stop the rot. But like I said from day one, we're game for anyone on our day.
And I suppose, sort of, looking at it, when we are losing games, other than Carlisle, I think Carlisle was a bit right that game off. But other than that, we have looked dangerous, haven't we? We have continued
100%.
Scoring goals. It's not like we're not causing a threat.
Grimsby, we should have got something from.
Yeah, and in this league, just as quick as you lose 2 on the spin, drop down the table, we're more than capable of winning 2 or 3 on the bounce and going the other way. So I think it's hard to get too strung up on 2 losses. I'd like to think anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there is only one thing more delightful than a portion of Ballers chips, and that is a portion of Ashley Nadesan chips. And let's have a look at one of those from Saturday's highlights against AFC Wimbledon.
Here's Sarula for Crawley. Nadesan available inside. And here he is. Shot is blocked. It'll come out as far as Powell. And that was goal bound until the deflection away. Really got going yet in this second round FA Cup tie. Back at their historic Plough Lane home. This is Thomas. Oh, deflection on that, and Glenn Morris in the Crawley goal had to be watchful. Chislett, excellent looking cross, and Piggott, 1-0 Wimbledon. It was a glorious cross. And it got the header it deserved. Probably have been quite neat and tidy in possession. Haven't created a great deal in the Wimbledon penalty area yet. Here's Powell. Oh, he might do now. That's a lovely ball, and it's an excellent finish. It's 1-1. 30th minute, Ashley Nadesan. Glorious assist from Jack Powell. Ollie asking a question here. Good ball from Powell. Nadesan blocked away only as far as the follow-up header, and it might drop in. It will for Waters. 5th minute of the second half, and Crawley have turned this second round tie completely on its head from 1-0 down. If Wimbledon got left here, if bodies flowed, is Piggott. It's a decent save from Morris. I'm not sure it was going in, but well struck. Last chance saloon here for Wimbledon, and Thomas, his header is well wide. Well, Crawley came through a chaotic tie in the last round, 6-5 after extra time at Torquay, and they won't, I don't think, go to extra time here. Longman couldn't pounce, and it's Crawley who are through to Monday night's third round draw.
Yes, welcome to the Job Serve Community Stadium. We are joined now by the GM, Tom Allman, who has come to, well, talk about predominantly the changes and obviously the news and the things the club have been doing. Tom, obviously there's been a few comments about loads going on. I was thinking, where do I start? Where do I start? We'll come on to the scoreboard in a minute. Let's start looking at the Barrow game. So
Yes.
obviously Barrow's our first home game where, because we're in Tier 2, we can get fans back in.
Yep.
We're capped at around 650, aren't we? Can you talk us through? Well, firstly, talk us through the cap of 1,300, whatever the cap is, the big cap is.
Yep.
Talk us through why it is capped at that and not the 2,000 like the government suggests.
Yeah, so obviously we've had numerous discussions with both our safety authority group and the SGSA, which is a sports ground safety authority, surrounding all of the guidelines that people have to follow, all of the red tape, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, to answer your question, the 1,300 is based off of that's our socially distanced capacity. So you're correct in saying that Tier 2 allows 2,000 fans. But
the government shaft you a little bit there, don't they? Because
Yeah.
everyone they say 2,000.
There's a little star, and then you go to the T's and C's, and you're reading into it more, and it's not quite as simple as that. So, 1,300 is our socially distanced capacity. So for a bit of sort of an idea of why it's at that, if we had, if we sell an area that has 200 tickets, each 200 of those people will have to have a metre square bubble around them.
Yeah.
So you then have to provide that in 200 metres square out on your concourse, which, as Crawley fans will know, our concourse is near enough non-existent.
Yeah.
When people come for that first game at Barrow, they'll see that we're effectively extending that concourse out into the car park, which means we can hold more people. Being frank, without us expanding that concourse, we have even less than the 1,300. So from the club's perspective,
We're doing everything we can.
We're doing everything we can to get as many people in. I know there was a few people that are saying that the club are only letting in 1,300, we could be letting in 2,000. Rest assured that is firmly not the case. We want to be getting in as many people as we can as quickly as possible.
Say, once fans do start coming in, and the ones who gets tickets to come in, what's it going to look like? Where are people going to be sitting? I know some people were saying online, will the terraces be open? Is it just east and west? What's the format of the stadium going to be if you are a fan that can get in?
So we're just putting the plans together for the Barrow game because it's capped at 650, which is in effect, we actually got dispensation to up that to get all of our season ticket holders in. So we're putting the final preparations together towards that in terms of how that'll look. But from the Bradford game onwards, from the 15th, all areas of the stadium will be open. Terrace will be open, east stand. We'll have home fans in the away terrace and away seating. So again, we really are trying to maximise every area of the stadium to get as many Crawley Town fans in watching Crawley Town as possible.
And I know, I suppose all the questions that the fans at home who don't know the full goings on are asking. I ask exactly the same questions in the office earlier on. I'm like, well, get more portaloos in, and get more fencing, and can we make the stadium bigger? And you've literally looked at everything, haven't you? And it's just that is it.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, people are literally working night and day to get people into the ground. We want the sooner we have more people in, the better for us. Obviously, not only from the financial point of view, but obviously, we want people back in the boys. And of what you're saying to Adam has so far been a decent start to the season.
Yeah. And looking, I know a number of people go, "Oh, football's not going to be the same." It's not going to be the same. That we can't. No one can get around that. We can't get around that. What is, you sort of touched upon it anyway, but what is football going to look like in terms of people coming into the ground? What the ground looks like? What's it going to look like?
Yeah. So we're striving to try and make sort of this new normal of how games are going to look, as close to a match day as we can get. So we're looking at options so that we can still have catering, so that we can still have hospitality, so that we can still have some sort of retail on the day. I know, talking to various other League 2 clubs, that's not on some of their agendas at all. They're just getting bums in on seats, in, out, cheers, see you later. So we're conscious of not having too much of an impact on people's normal match day experience. Reds Bar we're hoping to open.
We're going to see an advert for Reds Bar very shortly.
Yes, nice plug.
Yeah. Get ready.
But yeah, as you say, with masks, we'll be distributing a code of conduct detailing exactly what people need to be doing, in and around the ground. But yeah, I think now, as is sort of the new normal, when you're moving around the ground, you will have to have a face mask on. But when you're sat in your seat or in your bubble or on the terrace, wherever you may be, when you're stationary, you'll be allowed to take it off. I know the Football League guidance is there's no celebrating when we score.
And
that'll
happen.
And if the ball comes into you, you can't chuck it back. So look, as you said, there's various sort of parameters and red tape and hoops for people to jump through, but ultimately I think everyone would sort of take that to be able to come back and watch the game.
So moving on, obviously, we spoke briefly about the Leeds game. We'd already planned to do a membership scheme, weren't we? I think someone had mentioned we're doing a membership scheme. I suppose the Leeds thing has added a bit more importance to the membership scheme. Talk us through the membership scheme that you announced today.
Yep, so obviously with the 1,300 that you mentioned, we know that when you take away season tickets, we'll sort of have around maybe 800 or so tickets left, and then you've got to discount hospitality, the tickets you've got to give to the Football League, all of those sort of, unfortunately, comp tickets that we're contractually obliged to do.
And I would say, sorry, just on that, I know the Football League have actually got sponsors like Sky Bet and people like that to reduce their allocation. So they've actually pretty much halved their allocation to enable clubs to get as many people as they can.
And I think that's important to stress that, exactly, you've got to say fair play to the Football League. You've got, as you know, we've got some of our sponsors that are contractually obliged to have X amount of tickets. Everyone collectively really is focusing on fans, getting in the most fans as possible. So as you say, I can't remember what the original question was now, but
it's irrelevant. I think that's
how
you
can't remember either.
I can't remember. I don't know what the next question is.
the membership. Sorry, the membership.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's quite important actually.
Yeah. So from Thursday we'll have 400 1896 club memberships going on sale, and what that membership will do will give you access to a priority window. So it's sort of a midway between, obviously, season tickets aren't on sale anymore, and there were some people that didn't get that before the season started, and obviously know it was up in air. So those memberships will give people a chance to get access to the priority window, along with members of the CTSA, Reds rollover, for league tickets, and then the L word for the cup game.
And if you've got a season ticket, you do not need to go out.
Correct.
And buy a membership.
If you have a season ticket, then you're in for all the league games. If you haven't already, get in contact with our ticket office about your bubbles. And then, as per cup games in the previous years, we'll be releasing ticket information for Leeds. In the coming days, and that'll be
excellent.
Treated as a separate entity almost.
Yeah, fantastic. So I mentioned there, ballers will be back open on match days. Is it household bubbles they can sit in Reds, or is it general?
So for as per it will be for pubs. We can book in tables of 6 in Reds pre-match. You obviously have to have a ticket for the game because, as I mentioned, that concourse area that we're extending will sort of engulf Reds a bit.
So you
have to have a ticket to the game, but you can book a table of 6 to have some substantial food and a drink before the game, and then head out and watch the boys.
And I think we're also going to be opening for away games, aren't we?
Correct. Yeah. So we obviously did the beam back for the Cambridge game on the Saturday, and then we were locked down again on the Monday. So. We've only had the chance to do one of those so far, but hopefully we'll be able to do the beanback for away games in Reds, and again, people will be able to book in and enjoy ballers and hopefully some 3 points on the road.
Fantastic. So to whet your appetites for match days and for getting in Reds with that beer and a burger, let's have a look at Reds. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to the JobServe Stadium, where we're joined by Sam and Tom now. Now it's the start of a new month, which means we've got to look back on the old month. So boys, we've got Goal of the Month and we've got Player of the Month, which you're both going to run through.
Yeah, we'll start with Player of the Month. 4 nominees. It's been put out on Twitter, so you can cast your votes. Jake Hesson-Tyler, Josh Docherty, Tom Nichols and Max Waters. Sam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think every player's had a strong month. I think Hesson-Tyler gets probably overlooked a little bit in the midfield. Obviously, a lot of the attention always goes on the people that score the goals, but I think he puts in a lot of hard work and he's sort of gone unnoticed, really.
4 goals for Max Waters, 3 for Tom Nichols in that famous Torquay game. Harry, what's your shout for the Player of the Month?
I think Nichols has got to be in there. I think that what he's done since he's come to the club and what he did at Torquay, he's going to live long in the memory. I think that scoring hat-tricks is hard at any level of football, so when you're doing it in performances like that, my vote would go down there. I think go to Nico.
And one of our candidates for most improved last season was Josh Docherty. a lot of fans have really noted on his consistency this season. Sam, what are your thoughts on Josh?
Yeah,
this
no,
season?
I think Josh has come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, I've spoken to the manager John Yems about it as well, and I think Lee as well described him as a silent assassin, and I think I'd probably agree with that because he does go unnoticed, and it is crazy to think that he's now reached 100 appearances for the Reds, and yeah, he's definitely come on leaps and bounds this year.
And what a difference Jake Hessenthaler's made to the midfield this season as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Him and Jack. Obviously, we spoke to him and Jack at the same time in an interview a few weeks ago, and we didn't know that. I think they played at West Ham together from a young age, so they've obviously grown up together. They've grown up playing together, and I think that really shows on the pitch because they just look. They click so well together because obviously Jake may sit back more and Jack may go forward and play the right passes like we saw at the weekend against Wimbledon. A brilliant assist for Ashley. So yeah, they're really working together.
You can cast your vote now on Twitter. 4 nominees, 1 day to get your vote in. Also, we've got goal of the month.
Yep.
4 nominees for that as well, Sam.
Yeah, so we've got Ashley Naderson's in there twice for both of his FA Cup goals. Obviously, the last-minute winner at Torquay's in there, and the equaliser of Wimbledon's in there. Max Waters' brilliant half volley against Grimsby from last week's in there. And then there's one more. Oh, yep, Tom Nichols for the 5-5, a brilliant header to seal his hat-trick as well.
Any personal preference as to who you think might win this one?
I want to say Ashley Naderson just on the basis of the occasion. We were down on 3 occasions that game. Obviously, Tom McGill suffered a really nasty injury. To come back from that was just absolutely incredible. And Ashley's goal, a brilliant. It's not just Ashley that makes that goal.
The pass, the touch is so good.
Tom Nichols, unbelievable technique on the side foot on the volley, the touch, and then the pace to burst away from the defender and tuck it underneath the keeper. Some may argue the keeper could have done better, but I don't think we care, to be honest. So that would definitely get my vote. What about you?
I'd probably have to go Tom Nichols as well. Not only for the Ashley Naderson, for the Tom Nichols pass. It was unbelievable. The first touch from Naderson, the drama. I mean, I've never experienced anything like what we experienced at Torquay, and it was such a shame that the fans couldn't make it. Harry, your vote?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think Naderson against Torquay is the one for me. You said it, the pass, the touch, the occasion. And I think, again, also I wasn't lucky enough to be there. I was watching it back home, and you knew, I think, as soon as he got the ball out of his feet, you were like, oh my God, it's another goal. And luckily we were somehow on the winning end of it. It was a great finish, and I think it sums up everything that he's about, getting him behind and getting us on the board again. And did it again on the weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And just in case you've forgotten about any of them nominations, we've made a quick little video. Remember to watch the video and then go and cast your vote on our Twitter page.
Joined now by club captain George Frankham. George, thank you very much for braving the light and then joining us here. You're obviously at the game on Sunday. The boys must have been buzzing in the change rooms afterwards.
Yeah, we needed it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we haven't been getting the results that we had liked the last 2 home games. So we maybe needed that break in the FA Cup to have a real good tie against a tough team in Wimbledon. And it was a great result, great performance from the boys as well. So yeah, we're buzzing with that, and a great draw.
I suppose like a bit of a fresh start in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the FA Cup is a completely different competition.
Yeah.
You might get into a bit of a lull in the league and lose a couple of games, get your heads down. But the FA Cup is almost like, well, that's over there. We're doing this over here. It makes a big difference. Sort of looking at that, we have lost the last 2 league games, and we come to a tough game tonight at Colchester. We haven't spoken much about them so far, but they're a good side, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, every season they're always in and around the playoffs in this league. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough game. I think they've got a good home record as well. So but, you know, the boys are buzzing in there. Been down there before the warm up. They're ready for it. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a positive result tonight.
How much is in the players' minds in the quick turnaround? I know obviously if you're a footballer, you want to play as many games as you can, but is it almost a good thing when you come off the back of a win that you wake up yesterday morning going, oh, I'm a bit leggy from the game the day before, we've got another game tomorrow? Do you just try and keep that momentum like you're saying, or can you sometimes got to be wary maybe when we get to the last half hour of this that we might be struggling a little bit on the fitness front?
I suppose fatigue can come into play physically and mentally, but personally I always like it when the games come thick and fast. I prefer to play than train, as they say. So, you know,
I think every player says that.
Yeah.
Prefer to play.
Prefer
but
to play.
Is it something you think is more built up in the media and by managers?
Maybe sometimes. It depends, you know. If you come off the back of a loss, sometimes you want a match to rectify it. If you come off a win, sometimes you want a match straight away to keep going. So it's like, I think it all depends really. Do you know what I mean? It's the same for every team. So
Colchester didn't play at the weekend, and obviously they got thumped last midweek. So almost they've had to sit on that loss for quite a long time. So like you're saying, it is always good to have that quick turnaround of games, get the last one either out your system or build on it and use the momentum.
Yeah, 100%. As you said, it can work either way for both us and them. Like you said, they could be dwelling on their poor result against Exeter, whereas we could be thriving off our cup win. Although we've only played 2 days ago and they've had a longer time rest period, it could go either way. You just don't know.
Effectively, people turned up for work this morning buzzing.
Exactly.
They had a good day. Either way, that is simple. But
so you just don't know which way it's going to go until we get 20 minutes into the game and see how the game settles.
And there's one change today with obviously Danny coming out and Tom Nichols coming in. Is that a case of at Danny's age sort of needing to not being but like he is 41. He probably can't play maybe twice in 2 or 3 days. Is that part of that, or is it a tactical thing?
I don't know. He may beg to differ. Bully. He's a machine. I've played with Bully for like 5-6 seasons now, and incredible guy, incredible player. Maybe so. He might be feeling a little bit fatigued. Could be a little bit of a tactical one from the gaffer as well. Could be maybe a little bit of both. But obviously Nico comes in and he's been on fire this season. So hopefully we'll get some goals tonight.
And I suppose you look in that team. You look at Waters, Naderson, Nichols. All 3 of them. You think they're all scoring goals, aren't they? They're, like we've spoken about. We seem to talk about every week, but it keeps happening. Last Sunday, 2 strikers score again.
Yeah, I'm sure their manager will be highlighting them 3. Because, you know, just circles that I speak in, people say they've scored a lot of goals and he's scored a lot of goals. So I think the league are very wary of what we've got going forward, you know. So, yeah, hopefully they get a goal each tonight or a couple.
Yeah, that'd be handy. And finally, just on your injury, it was only a week or so ago that you were on the show, but still on track for everything?
Yeah. So I don't want to tempt fate, but hopefully I'll get this off on Friday, hopefully. Got to go see the specialist. If that comes off, then hopefully we shouldn't be too much more than a few weeks away from playing. But you know, that's providing no mishaps or setbacks. But yeah, we'll see.
Back for the cup.
Back for the cup.
Hopefully, I'd like to think so. But just want to get back out there with the boys. You know what I mean? Whether it's back in on the bench or back in the team.
I said earlier on in the show, I was chatting to Marcus, who's a character, as you know, and he was sort of saying about Tom Nichols seemed to be really desperate to get back from injury, and he sort of seemed to, the players who were injured seemed to be more desperate to get back into the side this year than he sort of seemed to have seen over the last few years. Is there something in that, or is it?
I don't know really. I think we've just got a really good bunch this year, like a real good, honest bunch of lads. Not that we haven't in previous years, but I think like for me personally, I think this is a really honest bunch, a really good bunch that just really want to do well for the club, themselves, and the team. Like, you know, when it's not necessarily always like that at football clubs, but I think we've got a really good bunch this year.
Fantastic. George, thank you very much for joining us, and
No
we'll
worries,
let you
guys.
get back to the boys before we go into the change room. Thank you very much. Cheers, cheers.
You're not allowed to shake hands.
Oh, I weren't sure. To be fair, we're all tested. So
I've had so many of these lately.
Little elbows, checking it. Cheers, mate.
Right, I've got a mic here, boys.
Yeah, that's all right. We continue our series on Mastermind with the club's best-looking member of staff taking part this week.
Hello and welcome to the People's Pension Stadium for Kiosk Ken's version of Mastermind. Today's first contestant is
Joe Comper,
age
29,
and your specialist subject.
Crawley Town, 2003 to the present day.
Your first question, including caretakers, how many managers, head coaches have Crawley had since the 1st of January 2003 to present?
17.
Incorrect, 22. John T. Smith made how many appearances between 2012 to 2014?
6.
Incorrect, 4. Matt Tubbs went to Bournemouth for what amount of money?
£800,000.
Correct. How many goals did Sergio Torres score for Crawley?
12.
7. Incorrect. Crawley Town's highest finish was 10th in League 1, 12-13. What points did they finish on?
54.
68 points. Incorrect. Carl McFadden made how many appearances for the club?
86.
The next contestant is Joe Comper. You scored 1 point earlier. These are your questions on general football. Who became England's youngest CNAP player in 2006?
Theo Walcott.
Correct. Who is Real Madrid's all-time top goal scorer?
Raul.
It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Who was captain of the England team when they won the 1966 World Cup?
Bobby Moore.
Correct. Which English Premier League footballer is the highest scoring midfielder of all time?
Frank Lampard.
Correct. What nationality is Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Swedish.
Correct. Who is Joe Hart's first real name, or what is Joe Hart's first real name?
Joseph.
Charles. In 2004, the biggest club sponsorship in the history of English football occurred between which football club and company?
Manchester United and Aon.
That was Arsenal and Emirates.
Ooh.
The Crazy Gang was a nickname used during the 80s and 90s in reference to which
Wimbledon.
football club? Correct. You've been watching Kiosk Ken's edition of Mastermind. Tune in the next show for the next contestant. Get in there!
Absolutely disgusting questions there. I write nice questions for everybody else, and Rinda, the club groundsman, shafts me with those questions. I'm absolutely fuming about it. It happened about 3 weeks ago, and I'm still disgusted. Anyway, Dan from Colchester, welcome to the show.
Yes.
It's not always this aggressive, I promise. I'm just a little bit agitated.
It's going to turn around and run off there, yeah.
Dan, thanks for coming on. Obviously, following Colchester this year, last season.
Yeah.
Tell us from the start of the season, how have they started?
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. I mean, points on the road have been a real struggle for Colchester. They've really struggled in away games, picking up points on the road. But here, haven't lost here in the league this season, so... As
right.
Of yet. So, haven't lost here. So it's a bit of a fortress, but, you know, Colchester need to shore up defensively, I think, because they do leak a few goals. If they could stop that, they would probably win more games away. But yeah, not a bad start. Still in the mix for promotion. Still in the mix for the playoffs and stuff like that. So
and last year you were well in the mix of promotion. I think lost in the semi-finals of the playoffs. Wasn't it? Has there been a bit of a hangover this season? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with COVID and everything like that, I suppose there has been. Everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? Because of the COVID situation. But after losing in a semi-final, maybe should have won that semi-final and got a trip out to Wembley. But they had to come back to go again with lost players. Luke Prosser is gone. He was a key defensive player for us last season. So he's moved on due to finances, really, not be able to keep your best players. A couple of others have moved on as well.
Yeah, like Frank, I know. I see Robbie Cowling's obviously been heavily in the press recently, and I know straight away they let Frank Newblade go, didn't they? And sort of cutting in as much as they can.
Yeah, it was a case, and I think that's why John McGreal went as well. Really, you know, if we didn't get promoted, don't get the financial gains from promotion, so unable to keep them players on, really. So it's going to be a struggle this year, but they're quite capable of doing it.
In terms of the bunch that are still here, who should the Crawley fans back at home watching, who should we be looking out for, and who should we be wary of?
You should be wary of Giovanni Brown. Scored 2 hat-tricks already this season. I think he's got, in the league, I think he's got 9 goals, but in all competitions, I'm not sure how many he's got, but he's got more than that. But yeah, he's lethal up front. Operates in and around the 6-yard area, balls in across the box. He's there, tap-ins, but you've got to be there to put them in. So yeah, he's a bit of a fox in the box, really. Quite dangerous in the box.
I always think from the outside, and I've met Robbie Cowling and spoken to him when he's been at the People's Pension Stadium, and it seems like a really well-run club, Colchester, and there's a lot of it. Like, I'm looking at the city, like Courtney Senior, Giovanni Brown, as you say, Kwame Poku, Tom Eastman at centre half, who was out
before he came to Colchester.
They're all names that you look on the team sheet and go, I've heard of him and he's pretty good, which in League 2, if you've heard of them, they tend to be pretty good.
Yeah. You've got some good names on there, but yeah, quite capable of pushing for promotion this season. And yeah, it's a really well-run club. You know, obviously dizzy heights of the Championship back in. I don't think we've been in this ground 11 years now. So I think it was the season before we moved into this ground we got relegated from the Championship. Right. So. And they were in the days when Christian Morello and Jamie Curtin.
Curtin he's probably still playing, Curtin.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I've seen him play against the team, Brighton Sea Region. I think he plays. I can't think who it is. That Stone Market, I think he might play for. Yeah, Jamie Curtin. I think he manages as well. So, yeah,
incredible. Yeah. And what is the aim for Colchester? Is it promotion?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. You can see that from the start of the season. Everybody was a bit worried before the season kicked off, how we would fare, you know, but you know they're in the mix. Like I keep saying, they're in the mix, and definitely they'll be eyeing a promotion playoff spot anyway. Yeah, this season. Yeah.
Score prediction?
Well, I've gone for 2-1 tonight, and I've gone for 2-1, and I think Giovanni Brown is going to get the first one.
Right.
2-1 to Colchester.
The first, I was going to say first one for Colchester. Crawley's 2. Yeah. Well, Dan, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate you giving up the time. Harry, as always, thank you for joining me. You guys now can flick over to the iFollow £10, watch the action live. I think we kick off here in about 10 minutes' time. Thank you very much for joining us once again. I will not be travelling to Mansfield on Saturday. It will be Harry.
Should be there.
Should be there. Sorry. He will be there, otherwise I'll have to go. So Harry hopefully will be...
There will be a show.
There will be a show. The show will go on.
I'll do it.
Absolutely not. Nick will not do it. But yeah, join us again when we travel to Mansfield on Saturday. Thank you for watching tonight. All that's left to say is, sorry Dan, come on you Reds! If you enjoyed it as much as we did, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified about when we are next live here from Talk of the Town. Make sure you don't ever miss an episode. Subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you again very soon.